Let's have a gamer who doesn't talk about games talk about games. Clap it. Look. Hey, what's going on, party people? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about getting good, baby. Now, as an ex-gamer, I've had my fair share of tough trials and tribulations playing video games. I mean, any water level in a Sonic game, nightmare, right? Nightmare fuel. Getting past the the anchor facility in GoldenEye, tragic. You know, beating the octopus in Diddy Kong Racing, 4 days in a row couldn't do it. Beating Magic Mike in All Star mode off of Live 1997 from the Nintendo. Couldn't He never missed a shot from half court. So I understand what it means to get good at these games. You're talking to a person who never beat a Mario game, unless Smash Brothers counts, right? We're counting Smash Brothers. I was the 2001 champion. Pikachu man, come at me. But I understand. The one thing about me is I understand and stay in my lane. So imagine my surprise when a bunch of people who were driving in their own lane swerved into other people's lanes. Imagine bragging about beating a game, and then the DLC comes out for the game, and that character you used to run through the game gets A-Town stomped at the front door of the DLC. Now you're in my lane. You've been taking L's. Get your goof ass over here. But I don't really have a problem with people having hard times playing games. Games by design are a challenge. They're designed to push you physically and, dare I say, mentally beyond your limits in order to encapsulate an experience that the director, the artist, and the designers hoped you could fulfill. Beating a game is the equivalent of you having a conversation with the designers, the creators, being part of their vision. You go from being an outsider to being an insider. And it's completely normal for some people to never get in the club. And it's okay to hate from outside the club. But the thing that I want to make clear is that there's a lot of rake stepping. What is rake stepping? That's what happens when you say and do shit in your game that probably is leading you to not have a good time in the game. And I think every person who is crying and complaining and review bombing Elden Ring's DLC is literally giving life to the creator, right? But here we have a very prominent Twitch streamer, Asmongold. The jury's still out on him for me. I've watched his content here and there just in passing, never really sat down to really thoroughly enjoy the guy, but I do remember one time he was reviewing, I think, Assassin's Creed Shadow, and he went from saying in the trailer that the trailer looked cool and the gameplay looked awesome to like sort of getting mobbed by his chat to believe that, you know, the game wasn't really that good and it wasn't that impressive. And it was just one of those weird things to watch someone kind of lose their hump mid-stride. You got to work out, man. Deep squat. Don't lose your endurance. But let's hear his take on the game.
Are you done with the game? I might give it maybe another day. Like, I don't know. But, like, I think I'm pretty much done, yeah. Yeah, I am. I think that the DLC is too hard for it to be fun. Like, when every single attack combo, like, stuns you, and then you're locked into an animation, and then you get insta-killed. I just, like, I can beat it, and of course I could beat it, but I just don't really want to.
Yo, yo, you sound like me. What I tell you, he's in my lane because I swear I can beat Elden Ring too. Prove it. Prove it. Hey, yo, prove it. Just prove it. Don't talk about it, be about it, motherfucker. Talk about you get hit. Wait. He's talking about you get hit and then you get put into a stun animation. What do you think is supposed to happen when you get hit? You supposed to get health? Why don't you parry that shit? Or better yet, why don't you not get hit? And it's easy for me to talk shit because I'm healthy on the side of the game looks hard and I don't want to do it. But what you'll never see me do is say I can beat a game that I decided to quit. That's copium on another level. The game's too hard to enjoy. Maybe no. I think how old is Asmund Gold? He looks like me and him are the same age. I might be older than him. Maybe our generation is soft. Because there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me a game that was there's a genre of video games. It's a genre of video game. Bloodborne's it has a genre. It's called Soul-like. It's hard, but I think let's hear him out.
I don't want to sit through 100 attempts or 50 attempts on every.
Okay, then don't. Just get good. Like and not get good from a sense of like this, but if you're just mindlessly playing the game and not learning the patterns, then maybe you're right. This isn't a game for you. But then I'm conflicted a little bit. He's 34. Looked it up. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm 1 year older than him. So for me, and once again, not a gamer here, but if you're proclaiming that you could beat the game, you just have to shut up and beat the game. Once he said that to me, in my mind, I was like, all right, then shut up and play the game. But I take this with a grain of salt because there is someone who we know is dog water at the game. But look at his response and his demeanor.
And I'm getting through these motherfuckers, bro. It's a skill issue. I'm assing your ass. And I'm getting through these motherfuckers, bro. It's a skill issue. I'm assing your ass. But your ass, though. Because you really, say this too hard. Nigga, put your big boy pants on. Go out there and go fight. Like, what are you talking about? Like, here's the thing, right? This is the first major release since the actual game 2 years ago, correct? Yes or no?
And I love this take because I remember watching Kai play the first game and literally get his ass whooped over and over and over again. For 3 days, this dude was punishing himself to the extent where he beat the game. And if you look in the corner, it's hard to see here, but you can see they gave him a little statue of one of the bosses. He persevered and now he doesn't find it difficult. But I honestly believe that people who are saying the game is hard are purposely making the game harder on themselves. Because there's sort of like this meta where you can't use summons, you can't use, vials or hearts, and you have to use a very basic generic class like a broadsword class. To me, that doesn't sound congruent to the vision of the game. I am a big component of steamrolling games. I enjoy being overpowered. I enjoy being a literal Hulk in a tiny world. I enjoy it. And the reason why I enjoy doing that is because I enjoy taking advantage and cheesing the game that they made. Because for me, any game where it's open world, I'm going to go do all the side quests before I start the main mission. Because I don't want to struggle. I want to have fun. And I think it's fun when I get to just beat up people. GTA games, never was interested in beating them until I got to San Andreas. Other than that, give me the cheat codes and I'm just going to go crazy. Give me a tank and I'll have fun for hours. Give me unlimited health, give me unlimited ammo, and give me a tank, and I'll run Rampage on top of a building for hours. It's the greatest thing. So, people's definition of fun have to be realistic to what type of games they're playing. That's what you have to be good at. So, for me, when I hear a game like Elden Ring is like this, I heard that there was something called like a fragment, and you had to get like 40 fragments to even be able to enter door. This is literally the game designers telling people who play the game like this, if you play the game on a try hard and you're a try hard for no reason, that you won't succeed in this DLC. This is such a clear message from the developers. It's amazing to me that people aren't receiving it. The developers are trying to tell you to stop trying to traumatize yourself or make this any more difficult than it needs to be. Let the game come to you as it is. Read the lore. Understand the stories behind why these bosses act and move the way they want to. Some people have even described if you go into some of these boss matches without having the appropriate items equipped, is going to read input your reactions more than normally. So you have to set yourself up. And I think there's a very cute way of doing this. A perfect example of this is in Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation when you're fighting Psycho Mantis and you have to change your controller port. They give you so many ways to beat him, but if you are hell-bent on trying to beat him your way, you'll never win and beat that boss. You have to be able to adapt. That's what Souls-like games are about. The same strategy will not work for everybody. And the people who are comfortable with that strategy, Souls is here to remind you, you will suffer. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a bunch of people who don't want to play the game the way the developers intended it. And when they put their blocks in, they got their blocks in. So it's hard for me to sympathize with Asmongold or even, I don't know how Kai is playing, but I see he has 404 deaths up there, so that's that's a fucking lot. And he's only been playing for 32 hours, so that's a fucking lot. But if I was playing a Souls game of any source and any type, you best believe I'm going to figure out the most efficient way of beating said boss. And to me, I won't be interested in beating them in a harder way until I've beaten them the right way, right? But I say all this to say one more thing. The more I learn about gamers, the more I'm happy I'm not one. But I found out that gamers really do give shit to reporters who have probably 4 hours to play a game, get as far as possible they can, jot down notes, and just try and make a review that is easygoing. And to imagine trying to do a Souls game as a reviewer and you're not familiar with it, of course you would find this game to be atrocious. You would find this game to be hella boring, especially if gaming isn't your main forte. This was like something you were just forced to do. But in the world of gaming, there's two directors. You either live and do the right thing and you become the ultimate gamer and you never lose, or eventually you do lose and you die and eventually become a journalist. So you can talk and shit and make review bombs about the game that turned you into a journalist. So every gamer at some point was a gamer. Every journalist at some point was a gamer. And therefore every journalist at one point was a gamer. And therefore we see the trajectory. Now, how do you go from doing this situation where you're talking shit? You understand that not every game is for everybody. And you just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. I think Asmongold is a great content creator. Same thing goes for Kaizenat. There's a reason why they have millions of people watching them and there's only 1,000 people watching me. The difference is they are able to command their audience and you truly go to them to watch them, right? No one's coming to Asmongold's stream to watch him play Elden Ring because they want to they want some deep dive technical into it. No, they want to see their favorite content creator play a game that they're interested in. There are going to be people who make 42-minute long essays about the lore and how to technically beat the game, and they're going to be savants at it. And those are the people you want to watch. You don't go to gaming journalists on the New York Times to figure out if you're going to buy a game. You don't go to review critics and shit like that, or Steam votes or anything. You go to your favorite content creator and you let them persuade you or push you away from the game that you are contemplating. That's how it always is. That's how it's always going to be. Whenever I finish watching a movie, before I write my own review, I go to my 2 favorite movie reviewers and ask what they, and to see what they've thought and get their perspective, because I think they have the closest beat on how I am as a movie goer. But that's neither here or there. You know, clap it up. Do you think I should play Elden Ring? I think I know for a fact I'd be better at it than Asman. If you think I would be, like, share, subscribe. Tell Asman to come on the show so I can talk to him, because I still get iffy vibes from him. Get iffy vibes from him.